Why 27 lakh MGNREGA workers were deleted from the records?
Nearly 27 lakh names have been wiped off the MGNREGA rolls in just about 1 month.
What went wrong? Why this is a scenario of digital verification versus rural reality? For millions of rural families, MGNREGA is their only safety net against poverty. Yet, 27 lakh workers have been deleted from the records. That is almost a population of small state. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to discuss the deletion of workers in such huge numbers from MGNREGA records. Why this is questionable, what are the reasons behind it and what implications it carries and how it can be addressed. Let us start by understanding what are the deletions that I am talking about. So when we talk about the deletions, we have to understand that in the duration of October 10th to November 14th, we have found that 27 lakh workers have been deleted from MGNREGA's database. Now this has been highlighted by an independent organization, but this number in itself is worrisome and as citizens we should be looking for answers here. But if we talk about additions to the database, there has been merely 10.5 lakh new workers which have been added. So overall, if you look into the deletions, it is somewhere around 17 lakh. And this is almost double if we look at the previous 6 months. That means in previous 6 months, we had almost 15 lakh and then it has gone up to this number. Now the problem here is why this deletion has spiked suddenly. So when we talk about the reasons behind it, first let us look into the reasons. So there are two reasons that have come to fore. There is coincidence of two major processes which can be understood as the reason of deletion spike. So the first reason here that has been understood is the mass e-KYC drive. So when we are talking about KYC, that is know your customer process, there has been provision of e-KYC for MGNREGA workers which has been made compulsory. Now this is about digital verification. So this is at one place. Second thing that has been highlighted is a 5-year job card that is present with MGNREGA workers, and there is a proper renewal exercise which is done after every 5 years. When we are talking about e-KYC requirement, the worker has to give a live photo at the work site. He has to have a matching with Aadhaar database and then he has to upload via NMMS digital attendance app. Now all of this is required if the workers are not able to complete e-KYC. They are marked as invalid workers because e-KYC is for what? Digital verification. So if they are not digitally verified, they are invalid and then they are deleted. Now let us try to understand that why this spike is related to this and what are the reasons behind it. So first let me present you with some data. State-wise trends have shown wherever the e-KYC completion has been higher in the states, that is the place that has seen most number of deletions. For example, where the e-KYC completion has been 78.4%, that is Andhra Pradesh, the deletion has been more, 15.92 lakh. Tamil Nadu, 67.6% of e-KYC completion, deletion has been 30,000 plus more. So you can see the number is kind of concurrent with the completion. Please don't go with the percentage because it is also relevant with the number of workers here. So in conclusion, we have understood that states with higher KYC completion have found higher deletions. That means there is a possibility that if the workers are not able to complete their digital verifications, they are being deleted. However, in this situation, this conclusion is not being accepted by the government because the government is saying, as per the Ministry of Rural Development, that these deletions are routine. So there is nothing to worry about because 5-year job card renewal takes place and identification of inactive workers take place. That is why both of these are important factors here. And who is responsible for verification? State is responsible for verification, Gram Panchayat is responsible for verification, and any deletion takes place through an SOP. So, government has given a proper reply to this. The standard operating procedure for any deletion is the proposed deletion list will be published, then there will be appeals if there are any, and the final approval comes from the Gram Sabha as well itself. So, the government is clearly claiming with proper answerability that there is no link between e-KYC push for digital verification and deletion spike that has been spotted. But we need to look into more before we go to the final conclusion. So, let us start with e-KYC and understanding that. As I said, e-KYC was introduced for better digital verification. Now, recently what was seen, the digital attendance app, which is NMMS, that is NREGA mobile monitoring system, this was being misused. This app itself was being misused by irrelevant photos being uploaded. Some photos were repeated across the roles, photo to photo capture instead of live images. So, a lot of things were found, mismatched workers, morning versus afternoon worker mismatch, gender mismatch at work sites, and this is where we found that this app without proper KYC would not function. That is why e-KYC was introduced, so that the worker authentication and obviously the government's money that is being spent, that is not going into the wrong direction. There is no leakage, because it is at the end of the day our money, taxpayers' money. So, in order to make sure that it is going into the right place, workers' authentication was important, and that is why e-KYC was brought in, so as to ensure digital verification and definitely reduce fraud. Now, after the introduction of e-KYC, you have to also understand an important system with this was Aadhaar based payment system, which is linked with MGNREGA. Now, Aadhaar based payment system also requires a perfect matching of the Aadhaar, job card name, bank account name. So, even if there is a minor spelling or any sort of error, the payment will not take place and deletion will automatically happen. So, once the ABPS was rolled out, we saw 247% rise in deletion in the year it was rolled out. I am talking about 2021, and same pattern is repeating with e-KYC. So, you have to understand the reason I have explained both of this to you. Whenever there is a technological upgradation, whatever positives are associated with it, some negatives are associated. So, many deletions in this case were also technical, and in this scenario even the government is denying it. In this particular case are also technical. It is not always about workers being fraud or fake, it is also about the immense technicality associated with it. Now, let us further understand this, that are genuine workers being excluded or not, because that is the real question. We do not need to worry about fake workers, because the digital verification will take care of that. But the real question, the reason we started this conversation was, are genuine workers being excluded? So, if we go per the data, we have found that yes, there is exclusion of genuine workers as well. So, 6 lakh deleted workers, they were already active. So, they have worked at least once in 3 years. And many of these affected workers, the deleted workers I am talking about, they are elderly, they are without smartphones, they are living in remote areas where there is no availability of internet, they do not have matching Aadhaar card details, and they are facing biometric mismatch. So, without any fault of their own and not doing any fraud at all, digital systems are responsible for their deletions. And if you see these people, they are in need of this particular scheme, the biggest scheme which was meant to benefit them. So, in order to address their problem, yes, digital systems should be placed, but they are meant to enhance the access, not to restrict the access. And in this situation, this digital system needs some reforms, needs some changes. So, in order to make sure that it enhances the accessibility rather than punishing the poor whose own safety net is just this particular scheme to stay away from poverty. Now let us move and understand that why this deletion matters. This large scale deletion is directly hitting the marginalized, be it women, be it elderly, be it people who are distressed, households who are hit by crop failure and inflation. In this situation, it will directly lead to reduced rural incomes, it will increase vulnerability, it will undermine the right-based welfare program that MGNREGA is being pitched, and it will further create a bigger digital divide and enhance the inequality that exists in our country. And that is why this issue is important. It is a very important case study that you can use to make sure and understand that when we talk about digital verification or when we talk about digital systems, at the same time we have to understand the real realities, rural realities which exist. Now let us look at the way forward, what should be done or can be done to ensure that better outcomes are coming from digital systems. The focus needs to be on policy, but there needs to be a focus in terms of a tech and human hybrid for verification. There should be options for offline or alternative authentication for people who either do not have smartphones or live in remote areas. There should be extension of deadline for e-KYC without direct action such as deletions. There should be proper social audits, simplification of procedure for Aadhaar name correction, no automatic deletion without Gram Sabha review, and most importantly, digital literacy, especially amongst workers and field staff. These reforms can actually ensure that digital systems go ahead and ensure not just proper access but also facilitate equality. I'll be ending on this note. I'll be leaving you with a practice question here. You can put down your answers in the comment section. Now I'll be disclosing the answer of Saturday's video here. The correct answer is A. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.